I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? And welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY. I'm here to bring y'all the latest in news and reality TV tea. Okay, so hit my subscribe button. Also, hype me up. Hit that hype me up button right there, okay? And I appreciate all of my new subscribers. Welcome, family, to the channel. Y'all see it. We are talking about the bold and the bitter, okay? Martell Holt. Child, he might think he dodged that child support request, but I got some information for y'all. So stick around for that. We're also talking about Kroy, child. He's bitter too. And I'm going to tell y'all because he actually said it. I am bitter and I'm getting her ass back. And we are talking about TJ, who has some things going on. And I got a bonus story for y'all. So stick around for everything, okay? All opinions are alleged, but I am about to back it up. And let's get to this first story. Starting with Stacey Rouge and TJ from Real Housewives of Potomac. Listen, I don't know if you guys are Stacey fans, but when I tell y'all everybody is giving it to her this season, she's getting it from the cast, friends of the cast. Cookie said that she had the funkiest breath over there in the DMV last week. Okay, so she's giving it to her. Who else? Even fans of the show is coming after her. And TJ. TJ's been coming after her since he was on the show. So right now she's getting it every which way but loose, baby. And the other day, someone alleged, actually, it was Bravo and Cocktails, who's a big blogger over there on IG. Bravo and Cocktails said TJ slid into his DMs, or someone saying they were TJ, to show the contract that was, I guess, entered into by him and Stacey. So I'm going to show it to you guys. Y'all see it. And it says, I, Stacey D. Rouge, willingly entered this agreement with Thomas Anthony Jones Jr. as an equal partner and cast member of Bravo TV's RHOP, produced by Truly Original and NBC Universal. And then it says, I agree that Thomas Anthony Jones Jr. is entitled to 50% of my salary earned as compensation for my appearance for the 2024 season as a cast member. And then get this, whether he's on the show or not, it says, and each season I appear as a cast member of RHOP thereafter. And then it said that the contract shall automatically renew each season and remain in effect until her employment ends or a mutually agreed time, which is absolutely kooky. Not even a 5-year-old would sign this contract, but that's supposed to be Stacey's signature. Now, Stacey has not come out and verified this, given it any validity whatsoever, and neither has TJ. And I have to say, TJ is sassy enough to have put this out here himself. So I'm questioning that part, but I'm also questioning the contract because there's no confidentiality clause, no nothing. And nobody's giving you half of their salary for every year they're on that doggone show. That just doesn't make sense. But y'all tell me if y'all think it's true. I think it was somebody playing tricks and just trying to put news out there. But like I said, nothing from Stacey yet, and nothing from TJ either. TJ didn't say, yeah, that's true, but we'll see. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I told y'all that Stacey's divorce is real. TMZ did find it. So in your face, Ashley Darby. But in regards to this contract, I'm going to say it's a big fat nothing. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Okay, moving on to the next story. Let's talk about Kroy Biermann. When I tell y'all he is bitter, he is bitter. Okay. He said that all of his fortune is gone at the hands of Kim, and he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that she doesn't live better than him. Okay. He said, I left a good job in the city working for the man every night and day. Now he is working third shift at the Ford plant running cranes. Okay. A blue collar job. And what else? Listen, y'all remember if you watch the Braxtons, Evelyn had a good one. She said, a hole will outlast a pole any day. And I have a feeling that nobody's hopping on Kroy's pole, but there is a billionaire all up and through Kim's hole, if you know what I mean. Let me tell y'all what's going on. So, y'all, it looks like it has been confirmed by both People Magazine and Page Six that Kim Zolciak is in a relationship and has been, she said, for 2 years, but for at least a Christmas, because these two were out Christmas shopping and buying trees. Okay. But she says she is dating a billionaire, and it was confirmed. Okay. And it is pissing Kroy off. It has him up at night. But according to a recent Q&A that she did on Instagram, she actually said that she's dating again. She's in love. And she said that her ex Kroy and her new man, whose name is Kyle Mowitz, that his soon to be a ex-wife is very similar. She said those two are just alike. So really, they probably could get with each other. But y'all, check this out. This man is worth 3 billion. Okay. I don't know what Kim has going on down there, but she might want to write a book about it and spread spread the wealth, honey, because she stays with a paid man. Am I right? She stays with one. Anyway, they're saying that Kyle is an entrepreneur and the co-founder and managing partner of Imperium Companies. It also says that the company's worth about 3 billion in assets with offices in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Atlanta. And then it also says that Kyle's family office manages over 4.5 billion in assets. So he ain't gonna go broke, unlike Kroy. He shouldn't go broke anyway. That didn't stop Kroy from warning Kyle's soon-to-be ex-wife. Her name is Jillian Greenchild, and he called her and said, "Go on ahead and put a monkey wrench in Kim's shit right now. Going ahead, because if anybody can run through them billions, it's Kim." And she took his word for it. She took the warning. She actually put Kim's name in her divorce paperwork and asked that she be called as a witness. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, you see it. Kim is out here telling on herself. So I don't know when Jillian filed for divorce from Kyle, but according to Kim, they've been dating for almost 2 years. So if it was before them 2 years was up, child, she might have something. You know what I'm saying? Kim said, almost 2 years after I filed for divorce, I went on my first date and we've been together ever since. And then, like I said, she said that Kyle's ex and her ex are very similar, and that they're going through the same situation. So they identify. And here y'all see it. These Christmas trees are going in the back. Okay. So check it out, child. Anyway, that's what's going on with Kroy. He said when he wakes up at, 12 a.m. and drag his ass on down to the Ford plant, all he's thinking about is putting his foot up excuse me, up Kyle, the K, up Kyle's behind and Kim. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Are y'all interested in what Kim might have as her mojo or her juju sauce? What is she putting on these wealthy men? Okay. Anyway, let's get to the next story. This is the bonus story, y'all. So let me give you a little backstory. Yesterday, one of my subs had sent me a video and said, "Girl, watch this, child. You are going to be in shock and surprise." And then this morning, someone sent me some official documents, some paperwork. And it had to do with this man right here, Marquez Burnett, formerly of LAMH. And when I tell y'all, he must have gotten big mad about an interaction that he had with his ex-wife, okay, because it is official. And he wanted to, teach her a lesson. He wanted some consequences and repercussions to go down on her, or maybe her and Ken, okay? Both of them. But if y'all didn't know, when they got a divorce, it was written in the divorce decree that Ken had to move out of the house that he lived in with Trisha before sundown that day. Okay. So if they got out of court at 2 or 3, he had until 5 p.m. to pack all his shit. Okay. Put everything you can into an overnight bag and you overnight it anywhere, a Airbnb, a hotel. I don't give a damn. Go sleep with your good friend Will, but you must leave the house where Marquez and Trisha's minor daughter happened to be. Now, I'll have to say this because I think I remember what triggered some of this. So, from what I'm understanding, because I did see this story over there on Tay Talk's page, but it looks like something went down back in September where there was an IG post, and I couldn't even find it because I don't think I reported on it. I do remember others reporting on it, and I did see it. I know that. I think maybe I just kind of spoke on it as a blurb. But there was an IG post, I want to say probably on like OWN, and it had promo for the show, and it featured Trish and Ken. And Marquez got underneath that promo and he said something. Maybe they were talking about him. So he ended up saying something underneath the chat, and he added Ken because he wanted him to know, big dog, I'm right here. You can say it to me right here if you got something to say. And Ken answered the call. He said, did you ring? Hey, I'm here. What you got? What you got? Right. So they went back and forth with each other. Marquez called Ken all kinds of, you a street dude doing street dude activity. I got something for your ass. Don't make me call the police. Whatever those things are. Ken answered back. He said some shit. And then Trisha got into the comments. I don't know if she had to, but she did. And I think she kind of threatened him because y'all know Trisha and Marquez aren't supposed to talk outside of that court ordered app. There's an app that that's the only time they're supposed to chit chat with one another. And they started going after each other. I think there was an implication where Trish, Ken, or the both of them may have called Marquez a punk. Anyway, you could kind of hear that he was real upset. You could hear it. You could see the tone of it. And he said that he had something for the ass. And that something was, you know what I'm saying? He put his hand on his chin. He said, I got something for that ass. And then he ended up sending the court, their divorce court, family court judge, I'm assuming a letter because of how this second response came through. But he sent something to them on his own. I don't think that it was supported by a lawyer, just based on the response, where he snitched and he said that if it's true, he said, listen, that man is still in the house with my child, and she's not supposed to have him there. And then he said that he had both photographs and video evidence. And he asked for a court date because, like I said, he wanted consequences and repercussions. Now, if he would have talked to a lawyer first, that's why I don't think he did. The lawyer would have told him what the consequences and repercussions could possibly be, right? Including how that would affect the child. Because if Marquez doesn't have his mess in order, the judge gave him specific directions too, then the child wouldn't go to him. The child would have to go to a court-appointed guardian, someone that was approved, right? An approved guardian. And if there was nobody that was approved, then they would go into foster care. So there was a whole lot of what if factors out there that I'm sure he did not take into consideration. He was just operating on anger. Anyway, when the judge saw it, based on what I saw over there, the response, I knew right away that Marquez and Trisha acted a plumb fool in that courtroom when they were going through their divorce. And he remembered it, and he wanted to make sure that neither one of them ever just sent any old thing to his court without knowing right up front, if you come in here, one of y'all is going to leave in custody, okay? Because I don't want you to think that I have time for your shenanigans. I don't. I don't have time for any of it. And so the judge ends up responding back to Marquez, I'm giving you the court date. Bring your evidence. And if your evidence is factual, if you can prove it, then he would take Trisha into custody at the end of trial. He said she will be taken to the paddy wagon and driven to the pokey. Okay. And then he said she would stay there for 6 months just because he's at this point, he's saying, and to me, I'm reading between the lines. To me, he's saying, at this point, I'm not going to play with the two of y'all. I know who you are. I know how y'all get down. We all do at this point. So he said, if you can't follow the directions and I've given them to you in black and white, then she is going to go to jail. Okay. And then he said, if your evidence isn't right, if it isn't right, then I'm going to take your ass to the pokey. You will go into custody immediately following the conclusion of trial, and you will spend 6 months and 10 days, okay? Because you will not waste my time or my court's time. And that type of threat, that soon after the divorce, lets me know that those two really did show out, that those two showed out, and he was so happy to get them out of there that he wasn't going to play those games anymore. Not to mention the fact that there is an LAMH curse when it comes to that courthouse. I feel like there is a case in that courthouse every month that involves a member of that cast, past and present. So, anyway, fast forward, I guess Marquez may have had someone sit down and talk to him, maybe a mama or somebody who said, child, if you can pull that request out of the court, go on ahead and pull it out because this is somebody you don't want to play with, okay? You don't want to waste his time. You don't want to play with them. And Marquez did. He pulled it out. And his reason he said he pulled it out was that he didn't want Trish to be, somebody's bitch in prison, somebody stealing cucumbers from the kitchen and strapping them on to Trish and using her as a My Little Pony doll. She said, I want to give my wife a break and or ex-wife a break. And she and I are going to work this out. We're going to figure this co-parenting thing out together by ourselves without any type of court interference. He said, I just want to raise my children in a stable and positive environment, and we are already off on the wrong foot. Okay. Because I can assure you, if the judge is saying I'm enforcing my rules, and if this happens to be wrong, Trish goes to jail or you go to jail. There's no gray area here. One of y'all are going. Then you can best believe that the order that he gave Marquez during the divorce to clean himself up in order to spend time with his daughter, that let me know right there that that child could not go with him. He would have actually had to find a court approved person, maybe his mama, or I don't know, maybe somebody else in the family, but it couldn't be him because he doesn't even have an address. That's what the judge said in the other document. So that is wild to me. I'm hoping that this is a lesson for everybody because right now, y'all, I can say that Trish and Ken, every chance they get, they are taking pictures of themselves and promoting their exercise business, and they seem to be real lovey-dovey, real PDA, public displays of affection all over the place, kissing, hugging, tongue raking across each other's face. So I was curious. I thought that they were going through a good moment, but maybe they was pouring it on thick because of this court filing. And now that he took it out, we shall see what happens next, child. Anyway, that's all I have for it. I just found it, oh my God, that has to be scary. That has to be scary. Okay. Anyway, moving on, because when you find out that your ass can go to jail too, I would have pulled it out too. I would have pulled it out too. Anyway, let's talk about Mel and Martell. Martell, real quick. I told y'all, let me put my other picture up. Martell, did he dodge that child support request or nah? Okay. Yeah, so let me tell y'all what I have, okay? Now, last week, Friday, I went live and I gave y'all a summary of what went down in the custody hearing and what the final ruling was. But I tried to give y'all some additional details that a lot of people were pissed about. That's okay, though. I don't mind. Okay. The truth is the mother effing truth. Okay. Now, one of the things, and y'all can blow this up so you can see it for yourselves. One of the things that happened was Martell had asked for a continuance. He had asked for a continuance, and then he has to list the reasons why, right? And Melody's team said, no, we don't want this continuance. And, we're going to move forward with the court date you gave. This case has been pushed off, schedule time after time after time. Now, I think 3 or 4 of those times was Melody because she was waiting on the results of the criminal case so that she could bring it back to the family court case. That's important to know. Mel was waiting for those criminal results, right? Everybody knew that. She actually put it down when she was making her continuances. There's another case we need the results for. There's a couple of things that was in the paperwork that made me think, oh, that's interesting. And one of those things was this. I didn't know if other people saw it or not, but Martell is alleging that Melody still gets paid from Love and Marriage Huntsville. She still earns a check. And people were trying to find out if she did or not because they were like, well, her name has been removed as one of the producers. Melody said it too. I'm not going to have my name on that show, but it does look like she still gets a paycheck according to this. Martell says plaintiff asserts Melody is the plaintiff, Martell is the defendant, and Melody was looking to gain full custody of the kids, or she had made the request for full custody, right? Plaintiff asserts that she does not have to attend these dates and is therefore opposed to a continuance. However, and he's asking the judge to realize that Melody might be difficult. He says, however, the plaintiff, as a member of the cast or prior member of the cast, is familiar with production and recording dates and what is required of the cast. And then he wrote, both parties, or his lawyer wrote, both parties rely on income from this show to support themselves and the minor children. So he put in his paperwork, legal paperwork. And when you do stuff like this, if it's an error, Melody's team is supposed to correct it. That way it doesn't, stay on record. Both sides have an option to do that. But that's the first thing. Melody still gets a check from Love and Marriage Huntsville, and it could have been worked out in her whatever contract she had previously, that she'll always get a check as long as there's reruns or something like that on air. So I don't know. Something. I'm just giving y'all an example. I don't know what that would be, but that's the first thing. Now, the second thing I noticed, and I did mention this to y'all, is that Melody and Martell were attempting to go through mediation. And if they were attempting to go through mediation, that means that Melody at some point said, I'm not going to pull full custody, because Martell would have wanted, I'm assuming, Martell was looking to continue custody on some level with Mel, maybe still continue it as 50-50, but they were going to work it out without the judge. Okay. So this is what this says, and this is interesting. And this is number 5. I have it underlined. Additionally, the parties have attempted to schedule mediation in this case, but have yet to be able to been able to do so, given the schedules of the party's attorney, the guardian ad litem, and the agreed upon mediator and the parties. So he's basically saying all of our schedules have caused some sort of conflict when we're trying to get it on the books. But I circled, they did agree on a mediator. They actually agreed on a mediator. And that's big. agreed upon mediator. So it's not untrue. And the other reason why this is important and not a lie, because this was written by the lawyer. Martell has a lawyer. He didn't handwrite a note to the judge. So the lawyer would be messing their name up to put that in writing if they did not agree on a mediator and if that wasn't the intended plan. So he's saying we already were trying to mediate this. There shouldn't be any problem with us just, pulling this out or rescheduling this court date. It shouldn't be an inconvenience to either one of us. And it'll give us additional time to attempt to mediate the case. So at some point, we know Melody had came onto her TikTok and said, I decided to drop the DV charges. I don't know if her and Martell had, a talk about how to move forward. And this was a part of the whole picture. Drop the DV charges, move forward, figure out something that would work best for us in regards to mediation, because they were going to bring the guardian ad litem in. And if that person said, I agree or disagree, this is what was going to happen. But that's what they were looking for at the time. And I found that to be interesting too, because I just wasn't expecting Melody to be looking for a solution in that regard. I just thought she wanted full custody, but it looks like she was maybe interested in finding a different solution if it could have been agreed upon, And that is important. They were going to take it out of the judge's hands and put it into their own hands. And Martell may have messed all of that up when he pulled that stunt and said, your boyfriend, Jason, when he did that, that might have made Melody, that might have started Mad Day for her, because that's when she ended up making all those other posts. And she was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And sure enough, she may have been really done, because when she went to that courtroom, she said, I'm not mediating. I'm not doing shit. I don't care. I don't care. Okay. Now let me tell y'all about this child support. So y'all know, when a judge issues a child support order, there has to be financials submitted from both sides. She wants to see what both parties make and then make a decision from there on how much, you would carve out. And Melody at this point would be the person to receive child support if that was the case. But when they went in for that particular court date, Martell wasn't even there. Melody was there, but she still didn't, in her initial request, make that child support order. And if you look at this, okay, the judge didn't say, I'm not entertaining a child support order. The judge just said there is no award of child support, as no information was provided during the hearing regarding income of either party. So because neither party submitted that financial information at this case, she couldn't entertain offering child support. But she can in the future if it was to go back to trial. And it could, okay? Because this ruling was fairly new last week. So depending on, you know, when you have to sometimes come down off of all the crazy that's been going on. Now she's in this place, but who knows what's going to happen moving forward. Melody has sole physical custody, not sole legal custody. And so physical custody means that the kids reside with her the majority of the time, but in regards to the decision making, um, Martell and Melody are still considered 50-50 parents. So Melody is to keep him abreast of all the decision making for the kids, anything that they are going through, extracurricular activity, medical, whatever it happens to be. Martell needs to be made aware of it pretty much immediately. And then all of those other orders that both of them had prior to, they remain exactly the same. But who knows, even though people were talking about it, we don't see nothing here for custody. We don't see anything here for child support. We don't see anything for child support. It doesn't mean that it's not going to come down the pike, because I don't think either one of them knew what the judge's final order was going to be until last week. They had went to court, and then I think the next week, several days later, anyway, that's when both of them received the judge's final order on whether or not Melody would keep the kids legally, retain them full custody legally, or full custody sole, right? But anyways, that's it. That's all. Okay. I hope that yeah, I was surprised. I just want to say that I was surprised because I know that this has been a long time coming to get to a place of them going to court. And I actually was shocked that she had dropped the DV charges. But when I had an opportunity to see that they did consider mediating, I was like, oh, that makes sense that they were trying to just work it out on their own. See, that's why I said you never know. You just never know. Anyway, y'all can talk to me in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about everything, please, and thank you. Also, hit the like button, share the video, hype me up, if you will. Okay. What else? What else? Follow me on all my platforms at DYANAROZAY. The links are in the description box. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.